dude, you should have just leaned into that softball and volleyball phase.
I was gonna say softball.
Just lean
players,
into it. You'd have been happier.
Yep.
You should have gone to a liberal arts school in San Francisco and just fucking take a trip to Lilith Fair and chill the fuck out.
Well, like her parents won't, parents got her.
Fuck your parents.
Parents got her by the roses, Rosetta.
By the rosary beads.
By the rosary beads.
Yeah. Just come on, just go. Don't stay. This is what I told the girl in Villa Rica. Just don't stay here and start lifting lots of weights and become a police officer. That's how people like me die. Just move away from here.
That's very
go
accurate,
find some
opinion.
pussy and lick it ferociously for the rest of your life. Do it now, so that you save the children. Hey everybody, welcome to The Light Roast. It's Tuesday, April 13th. We're happy to be here with you today. I'm your host, Damian Turner.
I'm Jason Jones.
And full disclosure, this is the second time we're doing this intro, YouTube, even though you're just seeing it once. And I'm sorry, I didn't mention Apple Podcasts and Google and Stitcher and what's the other one? TuneIn. They're all very important. All the listeners are on there, very important. Yeah. So y'all, full disclosure, that's the second time we did this intro because we're constantly updating. We're figuring out how all of this works. We're trying out new microphones. We're trying out new mixers. We're trying new things with the various platforms that we are on. Yep. And we love and respect all of you. Speaking of which, I got an email. I got an email yesterday telling me from a guy named Carlos, which makes all of this much stranger. I got an email from a guy named Carlos.
The Carlos we know?
No, that's not a Carlos.
Oh.
He's a Carlo.
Okay.
He's from a country where people are named Carlos.
Yeah,
but he has his Carlo. Variation from Italy for some reason.
Right.
Even though we look like we could be like cousins, like third cousins.
I noticed that. I took that picture of you guys sitting at camp one time, and it's like y'all definitely are like getting into something and look strangely related. Not just
almost,
you're black,
yeah. No, but we have similar feature types. Yeah,
absolutely.
In similar mixes, I think. Yo, Carlo, what up, bro? But no, I got an email from a guy named Carlos saying, hi, Damian, it didn't say hi, Damian. It said, hi, The Light Roast, because it was at our Light Roast Gmail. I was like, hi, The Light Roast, here's something cool I thought you might like to know. You rank 47th in Apple Podcasts in the Ukraine.
Well,
which is how I found out that the Ukraine has exactly 48 podcasts.
Exactly. I was going to say like there's 47 podcasts.
I'm going to say there's 48. And I posted that on Facebook, and immediately our buddy Jace, who does the Getting Pretentious podcast, who we've mentioned before because he's written it. He's chatted with us before. He went ahead and put his hand up. We would be the 48th ranking comedy podcast in the Ukraine. So those are buddies over there.
Dude, Ukraine is like scary right now over there.
I mean, when is the Ukraine not?
Yeah, I mean, since 2014, it's been really scary, right? But like in terms of like we could be seeing a potential new Cold War. I mean, they've got trenches dug. Like the president's out there running around with news crews from CNN trying to paint a picture. Yeah, I watched this interesting clip of the president of Ukraine doing this publicity stunt with a CNN reporter where they say, "Okay, we have to run from point A to point B because this is very close to the front lines and this is very dangerous." And they're just like running and it's kind of you can tell like there's no way they're letting the president of Ukraine get that close with a CNN, news crew, and they're just running like this in this conditions. And I don't know. Anyway, they're basically just trying to drum up money and support from the U.S. right now that I've been saying for a long time, like if you let Ukraine fall, like we're in trouble.
Yeah, totally.
We're in trouble. So
totally. Yeah. I just remembered to start my other camera. Did you start yours?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, more behind the scenes footage here in the episode.
Pro-am.
Yeah, right. I mean, I didn't know that about the Ukraine.
Crimea was a real a real disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I did know that. I did know that Putin's been over there fucking around and trying to. Yeah, it's basically every so many years he's just like,
and we'll get
fuck
a little
Ukraine
closer,
and just like,
just a little bit closer. Maybe
we're just gonna put it in a little further.
Just a
we're
little
just gonna,
bit more.
Yep, just here, relax, just relax,
just relax.
He's like, just stop clenching. Let
Please.
me just.
Please do trust. Do trust.
Please. This is happening.
Okay, don't trust.
This
One
is,
layer. You
this
have it
is
your way.
happening.
You know?
Yeah. Blood, no blood. I do either way. Yeah, no. So I've been, hearing about him. He's trying to. He's basically just straight up trying to take on dictator status over there. He's just like, no. I'm gonna extend the presidential term limit. We're just gonna make it longer.
Yes.
I was gonna step back, but I'm not going to now. I don't think
like 2036 or something.
Some shit, or like 2033.
Oh, 33.
Like I forget.
It's in the 30s.
I forget what it was. It makes some ridiculous number of years.
His length of time as ruler, like incredibly long. Like
yeah,
most of our lifetime. Almost.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It was like it was Gorbachev, and then it was dude. There was like one guy who the Americans kind of liked, and I remember the first diplomatic guy.
Yeah.
And then it was Putin, and then it was somebody else, and then it was Putin again.
Yeah.
And then it was Putin again.
I can't remember.
And it was Putin again.
His name is slipping in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember. It doesn't. I don't care enough to know now in the moment, and I'm willing to admit that. I don't mind admitting that I'm a piece of shit sometimes.
Hey, it looks like we're rocking the updo buns today. So
hey, speak for yourself. There's no bun. There's no bun here. Is it a poof? This is a poof. Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yes. It's like a loofah made of hair. It's a poof.
I bet it feels nice.
I like it.
Sweat.
You know who thinks it feels real nice is white women in public places.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's definitely
just
one
the
of the
first
most
thing. Without saying anything, they just touch it.
They just put their hands.
That's
That
okay.
happens to me a lot at comedy shows. Is just white
That's
women just
appropriate.
put their drunk, older white women with husbands there next to them. Just put their hands in my head.
Yep.
And one of them I remember being like, hey, you should always ask a black person. I mean, really a person. You should always ask a person before you touch them. You should definitely always ask a black person before you touch their hair. Some of us are cool with it.
Right.
Some of us are not.
Right.
Most of us are not if you don't ask us, right? And she was just like, I have black people in my family. Just like, that doesn't fucking mean anything. Still ask it. I'm like, I'm a stranger. You don't know who I am. I'm a stranger.
Do they know that?
Yeah, I don't.
Do they know they're in your family?
Do they call you family?
Dude,
Or
I
do
had
you
a
just call them family.
I had a lip ring for a long time, and when I was a valet at one particular restaurant, oh my god, these like, these like middle-aged women just constantly want to reach out, and that they even one of them thought I had something on my lip and still thought it was appropriate to like reach out and do it for me.
Like, no,
you've got something on your lip. You've got a
man.
cold sore. Well, then don't fucing touch my cold
touch
sore.
my cold sore with your bare hands.
And it's
lady.
not a cold sore; it's a fucking lip ring. Fucking, you're going to the optometrist later, aren't you?
Like, what are you trying to do? What, pop it? Like, I assure you.
Right. Stand back.
Yeah, like what? That's not a good idea.
Gross. Get your hands out of my fucking mouth.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how are you this week, man?
Oh, how am I?
That's promising.
I'm good. I have been really trying hard. Oh, I got my second dose of the vaccine yesterday.
Oh, cool. Second shot.
That's the most recent update.
I got some stuff here on the shots. It's not
cool.
It's not great.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Oh no.
I'm pro shot just to be clear. I'm generally pro this shot.
Yep. Yep.
But there's some negative news about the shots. It's real.
Yes.
It's real, son.
Yeah. On my way to get the shot, that's pretty much what I was listening to. It was NPR. And it was just constantly like, they just can't not talk about the vaccine and that it's okay and everybody needs to go get it. But here are the groups and here's why.
Right.
They're not taking it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I did a show this past weekend.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how are you doing?
I am okay.
Right.
I'm not great.
All right.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But okay is good, you know? Okay is very good.
Okay. I still see you.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
You survived whatever it was. And
yeah. It was an emotionally it's been an emotionally draining couple of weeks, and that becomes physically draining after a while.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, I did this show in Villa Rica. And you know,
I grew up calling it Villa Rica.
Villa Rica. Yeah, that is what they call it. Villa Rica.
Villa Rica.
I'm too ethnic to. I'm sorry. I can't.
It really probably should be Rica. You know,
it should be Villa Rica.
Yeah, Villa Rica. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Villa Rica.
Yes, that's right. But the locals call it
Villa Rica. Which is tells you pretty much everything you need to know about that place. I'd never been there before, and I was wondering, is my assumption about this place right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and just to give you so we're just outside of Atlanta now. We're slightly northwest of Atlanta where we are right now. This place that I went to is about a good 40 minutes west of here in traffic.
Easily.
In traffic, yeah, easily 40 minutes west of here.
At least.
Yeah, it was about a good, right? Yeah, it was like
it would in traffic. It's going to be an hour. It'd be an hour and a half. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a ways out there.
Yeah,
it really is.
It was over an hour each way. I think
it's right over there next to Douglasville.
Yeah. It's getting towards Alabama. You get another.
You're getting real close to
Alabama. You know where it was? I didn't realize this until I was just mapping it and looking at where it was. It's not too far from the weird scary place where we camped for Alchemy the one year. Over there out west toward the Alabama border weren't we near Mount Zion? Weren't we close
missed
over there?
That one.
No, you didn't. We were there. The one where we had the mountain right next to us, where we were all the way out west, like close to the Alabama border.
Oh, right. But that's further north.
It was further north.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a good bit further north.
Good bit
that's
north
and then west.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Much more mountains up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
you're
right.
like due west from here.
Yeah, just straight west, Villa Rica.
I-20 west.
So, and I wasn't sure how correct my assumptions were about this place. But I'm getting close. See, I'm off the freeway. I'm driving down the street I'm gonna park on.
Yep.
But it's still like 2-3 miles up the road. And I pass this sign that says, this big old yellow sign, huge, big street, but like a triangular street sign, right? That says cornhole tournament. And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. All right.
And it's probably popping.
Oh, it was clearly like the biggest thing on the strip. Like it was the biggest deal on the strip.
And it's probably not what you think either.
No, I know exactly what cornhole is.
I want to assume it's that.
It's really dorky white guys just throwing bean bags into holes. Like,
yeah,
that's definitely what it is. I'll tell you what though, Ian Aber, he was on this show too. And he definitely made some gay jokes. He's like, I saw a cornhole tournament, and I said, "Is that for me?"
I'll watch your cornhole.
He's like, "I'll throw all my beans in your cornhole," or some shit. Like, it was pretty great. But yeah, it was. Hey, Paul Jarrett, what's going on? What up, Paul? Good to see you. But yeah, so.
Oh my God, it's on ESPN now. Obscure Sports Weekly.
Cornhole is on ESPN now. Yeah, the first time I saw cornhole, actually, I was in Nashville doing comedy, and it was a tournament on ESPN. We were hanging out with me and my partner Coco, whose cup I'm using today because I broke mine, and that's why it says Courtney on my cup, because Coco's real name is Courtney. But anyway, she and I were out there. We were visiting our friend May, what up if you're listening or watching, who was nice enough to house us and have us there while I did my shows and hung out with us and stuff. She took us to this pizza place. She's like, y'all gotta come to this pizza place. It's so good. And we're sitting there, and there's this cornhole tournament on ESPN in the bar. And I was like, see, this is how I know the difference between Nashville and Atlanta. Like this would never fly in Atlanta at a pizza place, like a cool cool hipster like bar pizza place like in the city. Like, nah, son.
Nah, cornhole's over. Cornhole is pretty much over in the city.
Yeah,
there were a few bars. There's another game where you've got like you've got some big heavy wooden balls, but you're tossing them around in a nice big raked sand pit, and it's called
bocce ball.
Bocce ball.
Yeah.
See, bocce ball is like
that's richer white people
classy.
Stuff. Yeah.
The classy.
Yeah.
That's the rich white people cornhole.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you got like poor people corn is like the corn is like the poor bocce ball.
Yeah,
I guess. Cornhole's like the poor bocce.
It's like when people are like, that rich people game bocce ball. We just sewed up some beans in some burlap sacks.
Cut a hole in some plywood.
Cut a hole? What? No, we use the outhouses. We line them up.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So that was So I'm driving to this place and I'm like seeing cornhole tournament. I'm way out the fucking middle of nowhere in Villa Rica. My little fucking, my little teeny ass old car.
Dude, I used to grow up going to the goddamn Sizzler with my grandma in Villa Rica. She used to take me shopping at the local Belk and the Macy's, and then we'd go to the Western Sizzler right across the street, and I'd get a sizzling steak and some French fries. And then we'd go home. Her house was on the lake, and we'd go fishing, and she'd teach me how to like skin and kill fish and shit like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
but just the
country folk shit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time you're saying that. I was like, just the just the cadence and like the musicality of that initial statement of just like, oh man, I used to go to the motherfucking Sizzler in Villa Rica with my grandma.
Had to be there. Yep.
I don't know that I did. I feel like I feel like I got it. Yeah, I feel like I got it.
Yep.
So but so already I'm like, all my black heckles are, kind of going up, just going out there, and I'm just like, man, I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, should I tell my jokes about like, I don't understand what white people with guns are getting mad about, are protesting about.
Yeah.
I'm like, should I really, I'm like, but that's my best shit is, that's all my like, fuck you, modern society.
How do you turn that around on them?
How
do you how do you spin that on them?
I was able to do it actually. Able to do it. There's a joke. I mean, I'm not gonna give away my bits.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give away my bits, but I have a bit where
is there a philosophy behind it or something? I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, stand up. There's definitely it's a trick, man. It's almost like magic tricks. It's a sleight of hand type of trick. You're kind of you're luring somebody into a thought. Like I've said since I've let me be clear. I'm like 4 years and change into comedy, and most comics would say like I don't even have the experience to like know what the fuck I'm talking about yet.
Sure.
But for as long as I've felt like I've known enough to be able to say this, or have an opinion about it, I've said to me so far, the real art and trick of comedy is like when you're most successful at it is when you can walk somebody into laughing at an idea that they otherwise wouldn't even listen to.
Yes.
Right? If you can get them to listen to it, and not only listen to it, but laugh at it. Because if they're laughing at it, they didn't just hear you. They processed it and understood, and some part of them aligned with your perspective, even if they disagree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always, especially when I'm like lobbing those heavy concepts, and particularly to audiences who I don't think will be on board.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into this knowing they're like, the dude who ran this show, Root, who's a buddy of mine. He's a good guy.
Sure.
He's a real good guy. And I know him to be. He's a good person. This guy's like helped me with my car and helped me with my life, and reached out when he didn't have to, when I wasn't asking, when but like he's also kind of right wingy, and kind of thinks liberals are fucking idiots, and kind of and it's this it's some real cognitive dissonance that I have to deal with, because like the dude is like a legit friend to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and like
sure.
He's one of like a handful of the like couple hundred associates that I have in the comedy scene, most of whom I like. There's very few people who I'm like, that person, but there's like, even fewer that I would call my friend, you know, where like I'd call them in a pinch, or if they called me and like needed me to drive an hour to go do something for that, you know, yeah, man, I got you.
Right.
You know, there's a handful of those. So, you know, but so we have an interesting relationship, and we talk about stuff, and we disagree on things, and we, you know, but he's always a good guy. And, you know, so he had released this statement on Facebook where he's like, just to be clear, like, this place does not require masks. It's like, it is indoor. We do not require masks. We do not require social distancing. Like, like, we respect you and whatever, but like, just know that. So like, if this is not for you, then this is not for you. And I'm like, all right, well, I've already booked the show, so I'm going to wear my mask when I'm inside, no matter what. He's like, if you want to wear your mask, you're welcome to, but like, don't come and like complain to me that other people aren't wearing their masks. We're in Villa Rica. They don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, come at your own risk. You know, and so I was like, all right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm okay, fine. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I want you to respect my space when you're there. Respect yours when I'm there.
I'm cool with private property, people setting their own rules and all that's that. You know,
that's their right. You know, I kept my mask on when I was in there. And I mean, I figured it'd be like most people had no masks. No, but nobody was wearing a mask except for me. Like, even the other comments were like, "Oh, you're wearing your mask," and I'm like, "Yeah." But I wore it all the time when I was inside, and I pretty much spent the rest of the night outside. They did keep their, you know, it was one of those like converted garage doors that was like all glass. Right. They had that open, like next to the open stage, and I mean, honestly, it was a small enough bar to where I was like, you're definitely getting a good amount of circulation through that. They had fans blowing. You know, they weren't doing nothing. They were just like, hey, we all feel comfortable with this. So like, fuck you if you feel any different. Like, whatever. This is what we're doing here.
Right.
And you know, so and I definitely saw like a dude in the crowd. This is I haven't gone on yet. I see a dude in the crowd who's got this shirt that says like, I don't know. Man, I remember what it was. It was black word tee that was something something ignorant, patriot, go fuck yourself, or, you know what I mean, or some shit like something like, you know, something aggressive like that, of like something of like, I'm fucking right wing and I'm pissed at people who don't like that, like you know, like it's like fuck with me. It was like the energy of it, and I was just like, okay,
right.
I'm adding it all up. Cornhole tournament, Villa Rica, no masks, no social distancing, ex-military looking white dude with the aggressive "fuck with me, say I dare you to say something" t-shirt, you know, like, okay. 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 = dead black guy, right? You know, like
knows the sheriff.
Yeah, right. Like, so but still, it's like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm always gonna say what I'm gonna say. So like, you know,
just gotta package it carefully.
Right.
Or not.
Well, I mean, careful is not funny, right? So it's like, or at least appearing to be careful.
Yes, yeah. You don't want to. Yeah, right.
Safe is not funny.
Yes.
So I challenged.
That's not what I meant.
So I challenged him. I got on stage. I'm like, first of all, I see y'all without your mask. That's fine. Do what you want. I'm wearing my shit. Y'all ain't tricking me. You white folks ain't getting me. I saw the cornhole tournament sign. I know where I'm at. You think you're tricking me? You're not tricking me. Do you hear my voice right now? I grew up around white people. I speak white. I speak black too, but I had to take black as a second language. You know, BSL when I was in fucking school. Look, I'm like, fuck with me, white people. You're not getting me today. So they're all falling out of their seats before I've even told a joke. You know, like I just went up and just riffed. And even when I got to and then I disarmed him with this, where I have a joke about getting my first shot, where I'm like, hey, I've gotten the shot, and you know, if you haven't gotten it, if you're afraid of it, and they had already said, somebody was like, who's got the shot? Who's getting the shot? And then, like, nobody put their hands up. It was like one person was like, I'm gonna get it next year, you know. Everybody else was like, fuck that shit, you know. So I was just like, hey, honestly, just get the shot. Get the shot. Don't be afraid of the shot. You know, like I can't even feel the microchip. You don't even feel it.
Exactly.
And they like that. And I just like, I went on this riff about like how my 5G was great, and I'm watching porn in my head right now,
right.
like all this shit, and I'm like, dude, you guys don't know how good it is to get the communist directives directly from Biden. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes,
transmission is clear.
Yes, Lord Biden. Yes, I will go to the commie show in Villa Rica, and I will, you know,
Yes.
I will convert many of these patriotic Americans to being communists. I will serve China. Yes, Biden. Yes. Like, I really leaned into it, and then just because I like was in on their joke, they were like down with me for whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, once I got that out of the way, it didn't matter. Like, they were just on board for everything after that. And so all my race stuff, all the sex stuff, like, just all of it, they were howling and like participating in like a good way. And then like, a bunch of people came up to me after the show. There was like a lesbian couple, this older lesbian couple that was talking to me. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Then one girl who looked like totally basic Becky, like kind of had like a Cash Me Outside girl like type of look to her. And then I
don't know that one.
You don't know the Cash Me Outside girl? You know, Cash Me Outside, and how about that? You know that chick?
We're gonna. No.
Oh man! All right, she's got a story.
Shit.
Yeah. She's in the news too. Man, I don't even know how to talk about it. You don't know who that is. Cash Me Outside. She's a meme unto herself. Kind of like.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I think I'm getting it.
She's in the same.
I'm sure it's a whole thing.
She's in the same. She's in the same space kind of as Woah Vicky. You know Woah Vicky. Yeah.
No, I don't know Woah Vicky.
Oh my God, dude. No, okay, we gotta get into this stuff. I don't know if we gotta get into this episode. I gotta show it to you between episodes so that you know what we're talking about. We'll get into it because Woah Vicky is like it's wow.
Whoa.
It's whoa Vicky. Whoa.
All right.
She had beef with Cash Me Outside girl for a minute because they're like, you know, I don't know, they're rivals or some shit. And then she had beef with Snoop for a while because she was like, "Fuck that Snoop." This is a white girl. "Fuck that Snoop," and she thinks she's black because she talks like that.
Right.
It makes me black if I. She's like, I'm like 132nd, 164th African on one parent side.
Therefore, oh man, that is definitely heavy in the country population around Atlanta.
She found that out
big time,
and then started talking like this. And making all these videos and being like hoe and shit and throwing money around. And she's like, I'm black now. And it's like the most insulting, offensive shit. Yeah. Like, somebody needs to slap this girl so hard. But she makes mad money and she like put music out and shit and like people buy it and yeah. So she's
some methy vibe for me. It always feels kind of methy.
All these people, all the fucking.
There's a lot of meth out there in Douglasville and like.
Bro, all the motherfuckers feel methy. I think these people, Woah Vicky and shit, they're all California people, but like she was a rich girl to begin with.
California's got its own.
Oh yeah, there's meth vibes out there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So to wrap up the Villa Rica stories, I'm going for like 20 minutes. It looks like, but
let's make some coffee after.
Yeah, let's make some coffee. But they were cool. They were super cool. But yeah, the girl who had the whatever, she had the basic Becky look was like, oh yeah, it's just so tough when you're a lesbian out here, and and I'm just like, I mean, whatever. People come in all different shapes and looks and sizes. She didn't look. She looked like a Lola Ray, Tanqueray, who blows all the dudes at the truck stop. Like that's what she looked like. But then she was like, it's just so hard out here when you're different and you're a butch lesbian like me. And I'm just
Did she say that?
Yeah, like she did. Actually, butch was not the word she used, but I'm substituting for the sake of using fair language, right?
Yes.
It was surprising that they all felt like freaks from where they're from, and they all really identified with me. So it was cool. It was very warm, and it was a great show, and I had a lot of fun, and everybody was really nice and warm and inviting. And then as soon as I left the club, I got pulled over by a dickhead cop.
Oh, are you serious?
Like immediately after. Like it was I pulled out of the club. And I sat at the red light at the corner of the street the club was on, or the bar was on rather. The light turned green. There's a car on the opposite side of me. I kind of go forward a little bit and then hesitate, and I'm like, "Are you gonna go?" And he hesitates.
Yeah, you did that whole like, oh wait, are you going?
Are you going?
But he had the right of way, so you kind of gave him the right of way.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, you're going straight, so are you going? And he hesitated. And And I was like, all right, well, fuck it, I'm going.
Right.
I took my left.
I probably would have gone too.
You know, pulled me right over. And here comes this guy, this depot. So, hi there. Hi, what's hey, so hey, so can you tell me why'd you rush and why'd you make that left turn right there? You just went ahead, what made that turn ahead of me? I was just like, he asked me a bunch of stuff first, and what you doing here, and where you from, what's going on?
You cut him off.
And I was like,
he was probably sleeping, probably texting or looking at some
whatever the fuck he was doing, or baiting me to make that
probably
move.
Baiting you.
Probably baiting me.
I would think that's probably more likely.
And this is
baiting you.
Well, this is what makes me feel like that. So we went through this interaction, and he's like, well, what made you make that turn? And I was like, I'm sorry, officer. Honestly, I rushed it. I should have just waited. I rushed it. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you weren't going. I rushed the turn. He goes, yeah, I'll say you did. I'll say you did. My dog in the car, I had to slam on my brakes so hard that he bumped his little head on the window.
Bumped his little head.
Yeah, he said it like that, and I'm just, and I'm like, and of course I feel awful, right? And because it didn't occur to me to wait a minute, you're saying from a dead stop, at a light, you hit the gas and stopped again, all within the intersection, because I was in the intersection and you didn't hit me. So and you didn't squeal your tires. Like, I didn't have my music blasting, so I couldn't hear you. I wasn't going very fast. You couldn't have been, so going what, 5 miles an hour?
Man,
you hit your brake so hard that your dog hit his head against the window?
Yeah, you got pulled over for being black.
Yeah, I mean, clearly. And so then this is what he left it off with. He was like, Will, let me ask you, you ever been out here to Villa Rica before? I said, no, sir. This is my first time here. He goes, oh, well, I'm going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. I was like, with a ticket? He goes, and he looked at me like, what ticket? And he's like, no, with a warning. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Like, you did me a favor. And then I realized, oh yeah, you can't write me a ticket because I didn't do anything illegal. I made a legal left turn with my blinker on at a green light. You're not going to have any witnesses say that I cut you off because you stalled. You hesitated.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I think the law sides with police.
Sure.
If there's a 1-to-1 you versus his word discrepancy and there's no witness, that automatically goes to the cop.
Sure.
It's fucked.
It will, but I think he was trying to see if he could catch me on something else. Has he been drinking?
Sure.
Is he going to be belligerent?
Sure.
Does his car smell like weed? Does he? And none of that. You know what I mean? It was none of that. So
is he going to give me an attitude?
Is he going to give me an attitude? Absolutely not, sir.
Is he going to comply?
Absolutely, sir. What may I? Here are both of my hands and all of my documents, sir. How may I help you, officer? Because
with my hands out the window.
Yeah, I mean, no, dude, seriously, he pulled me over and I had my shit, by the time he came up to the window, I had all my stuff in my hand out the window, and he's like, hey there, can you give me your ID? It's in my hand, officer.
This is one of those areas.
Well, can you give me it's in my hand. Well, what about your it's in my hand. It's all in my hand.
This is one of those areas where I swear a lot of conservatives that are pro police, big supporters of back the blue and all that shit. Their narrative about their private property rights and about limited government interaction in your in interrogation into your own life. Really, that line gets really pretty gray in their narrative and a little hazy because in most cases, they don't want the government in their life, and they say, hell no to interacting with me. And if you don't actually have the law, if the law doesn't really support the activity of the police, they're really quick to tell the police that and to act with that sort of arrogant, so I've got the law on my side, sir. I'm not getting out of my vehicle. But as soon as it's a black guy, there's definitely a different set of rules for, well, why didn't he just comply? Why didn't he just do what the cop told him to? Well, why didn't he just do this? And it's like...
Well, we see what happens when they comply. When you're a service member,
oh my God,
decorated,
dude.
And you comply.
Let's talk about that while we brew some coffee.
Let's brew some coffee.
All right.
Let's brew some coffee, and then I'll start by reading what the coffee is, and then we'll get into more shit about black people. This is part of why I'm emotionally drained this week. That experience fucked with me, with that police officer, and it fucked with me right then in the moment on the way home. I was terrified. I was, terrified he was going to find or make up something, some reason to put me in jail. And of course, the big fear is I'm going to die, right? That's all. And that's always like the first, not the first thought, but that's among your first thoughts is like, I could die.
Right.
When you get pulled over by the police as a black person anywhere, but especially in a place like Villa Rica, Georgia.
Right.
Right after that, it was like the next day I had somebody like, hey, would you come out and do a show in Kennesaw for free? And I'm like, free's tough. Sorry.
Kennesaw's only mildly better.
Yeah. I'm just,
you're still.
I mean, and I included this story just to be like, look, man, like here's what happened last. I'm like, that's real far away from me. It's like, I tend not to go to mics outside of the perimeter for a reason. Like open mics, it's because it's a net loss. It's far away.
Yep.
You want to spend some money on the venue while you're there. So you want to get a drink or some fries or whatever,
right.
Then it's, long drive back and then on top of that, it's like you're in a dangerous area and you're not making any money. You're spending money to go and, all that stuff. So,
you might have scary interactions with cops, which thankfully you didn't come out of pocket. But processing the stress of that situation and the fear and all that is like, kind of makes me wonder. I wonder if if a support group, honestly, I don't know if this is available out there somewhere, probably not, but I wonder if there's a support group for people that have had shit interactions with the cops. And like, I wonder if you could get therapists together or at least some funding to like support specifically people that have had like bad interactions with the police.
Yeah. Well, what else we have bad
traumatizing.
You know what else black people have bad interactions with? Therapists and finance therapists and financiers.
Right.
They don't like us either.
Yeah.
In fact, it took me to coming here to have a black therapist to like really, I was amazed at how much progress I would make in a single session just to have somebody actually listen to me.
Right.
And be like, I understand the gravity of what you're going through from your perspective, instead of just having somebody just dismiss me or make it my fault or make it about something else.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even realizing, like you feel that, but it's hard to like put a finger on, like that's what's happening every single place you go.
Right.
And it's, not just therapists, medical doctors, they just write us off. You go in and you tell them what's happening. They're like, no, it's not.
Yep.
Like, okay. Why am I here?
Had to get my water hot.
Yeah. So to pivot to the coffee, right now, I told you a long time ago that on our lazy days or in between days, that's when we were gonna have a blend. If you guys hear that on the audio, that's me waving my hands around with the beanbag in my hand. That's the blend, where we just take two previous things that we drank and blend them together. But I'm lying right now because that's not what this is. But this is similar to that, where we just went to our favorite local coffee roasters. Coffee roafers? The roafers now. Yep. Our local Costi roafers, Rev Coffee. Yeah. And so this blend. Oh, it's still a blend. It's a special blend. It's a special blend. This one's called Espresso 9. Now I don't know if this is actually, let's read on the back of this what this says. This is just about Rev. All right, yeah, this is just general. That's the Rev mission. We've been through that. So, yeah, I don't know if this is actually.
Well, you can.
Is it actually espresso?
It's. Well, it's their bean that they use. It's a mix of. I think they're Guatemala. I don't think there's any Brazil in it.
I feel like it doesn't say.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to. All it's got on the look. This is all it says. It says espresso 9. It says style traditional. So no, it's not espresso, right? I don't know what traditional style means. Maybe that's how they roast it. I don't know enough about what I'm talking about to talk to you about this. The flavor says smooth, decadent, and heavy.
Okay, here you go, right here. Here's the current components of the Espresso 9: Ethiopian Kimbata, Guatemalan Tahitian, and the Brazil Cerrado. Okay, I was actually pretty close. The only one I didn't say was the Ethiopian, and That's cool.
Didn't we make a blend like this the other day?
We actually
several weeks ago.
We actually blended the Ethiopia and
the
I
Brazil.
Think the Brazil. Yeah, you're right.
That's hilarious.
You're right about that.
So we are. I lied, and then I lied about lying because I intended to lie, but I accidentally told the truth. So you're welcome. I don't know.
I mean, that's all it takes to be a coffee roaster is just like try some different beans, put them together, slap a label on it.
Slap a label on, and then you hire
sell the sizzle.
And then you hire some poor artist like me to write you some snappy copy. But this isn't even like snappy copy.
Or you pay your $7
an
hour employee that is
force
in the back
them to write it.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's
hey, you be creative. But those businesses fail a lot because you cannibalize your workforce and you have people doing jobs that they don't really know how to do instead of hiring a professional to do it for you and just get it right the first time. We have all these business owners. I don't want to spend the money it takes to do that. Okay, so you're going to do it 7 times in a year because you're going to keep fucking it up and you're going to keep yelling at and alienating and disenfranchising the staff who are doing that for you for no pay on top of their regular job that they're not getting paid enough for.
That's it.
And then right. So you're gonna ultimately spend way more time and money on it. So just
So what are they tasting? They're tasting walnut, smoked honey, and black cherry.
Walnut, smoked honey, and black cherry. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one of those is supposed to be smooth, decadent, and heavy. It's like those are 3 weird descriptors to go together, right? Because it's like smooth and decadent sound like chocolate, and then heavy sounds like a period. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a smooth, decadent, and heavy. Is heavy a flavor?
Because smooth kind of implies flow. Heavy kind of implies flow.
Well, heavy sounds more like a flow. I just feel like you wouldn't see smooth and decadent on the side of like a tampon box, but heavy you like definitely. Yeah, but definitely chocolate. Is it a chocolate? Oh, sorry guys. Are you hungry for breakfast yet? In what? California? It's brunch time in California. If you're having brunch and listening to this show, I'm sorry that your life is this sad. No, I'm kidding.
What does it smell like to you when you smell the beans?
I don't know. I've got to smell the beans. Let's see.
Smell.
It smells.
Yeah, shake them up.
It's a little salty.
Smells salty. I think that's an acidic smell.
I'm joking. No, it does. I get the smooth. I don't know that I smell anything decadent.
What does decadent mean?
Yeah, what does decadent smell like? I mean, I guess that's what makes me think of like chocolate. I guess it makes me think like rich. That could be the honey. That's what I'm thinking. Decadent is probably the
decadent
honey.
and
honey go together.
Decadent and richness.
Yeah, decadence and richness. But I think that's honey though, because they talked about that in the flavor.
Okay.
Which I do smell a hint of.
A little bit of honey.
Right.
Okay. And walnuts though.
Walnuts. I guess that's the heavy. They're trying to say their nuts are heavy.
A person who is luxuriously self-indulgent
is decadent. Yeah, right.
Characterized by or reflecting a state of moral or cultural decline.
Yeah. Kind of like our culture, which is in decline. If y'all haven't noticed, have you noticed that our culture's in decline? So, speaking of declining culture. Dante Wright. Rest in peace, Dante Wright. As the Derek Chauvin trial drags on, and we're on what, day 12 now? I think as of the day that we're
testimonies.
It's April 13th today. I believe we're on day 12 of testimonies now, and it's just I think the last thing I saw it was a cardiologist. Yes.
The cardiologist like, fucking dropped the mic.
Yeah, was just like, this was caused by his throat being compressed and a lack of oxygen to the blood, to the brain, and to his blood, and cardiac arrest as a result of that. Yeah. Like that is what happened.
Yeah, and no evidence at all
to the contrary
to speak of or to say that anything in his system or his current heart condition would have led to him dying just like that.
No.
Not even in a stressful situation, not just pure stress. Like he had to have been compressed like that.
I don't know about you, but that was a complete revelation to me. I totally needed that doctor to tell me that.
Yeah.
To figure that out.
Mind blown, right?
Mind blown. Just
now it all makes sense.
Oh man, my mind's so exploded.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence. Come on.
Right? Like so as we're going through all of that, as we drag this shit out and you know, as we black folks continue to just be worn out on the whole shit. There's so many of my black friends on social media that are just like, I don't need to fucking watch the trial. I watched the killing.
Yeah.
We saw it. We watched it.
Yeah.
We saw what happened. Like no one needs to. Are you following the trial? Fuck no.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't need the extra stress and trauma of like watching these assholes bullshit their way. That would be like installing a camera in Trump's private home and broadcasting it on TV. Do we need to watch this? Are you watching more of Trump's life? No. Why? Why would I do that?
So well.
It would. It would do very well. Yes. And if you'd like to pay for this premise, it is now, as of right now, copyrighted to Damian Turner. Not an LLC or a corporation, but just a sole proprietorship. It belongs to me because I said so on record. And Fox, let's talk. I have no morals. I need money, and
exactly.
This is what working in show business does to you. Working,
in
show
the family is testifying
in
today.
Air quotes.
Family's testifying today, and Minneapolis has is it the state or the city has basically a kind of a unique situation in terms of how they do their law around the country. And in trials like this, they actually allow for character witnesses to come in and testify on behalf of the person who passed away as a character or is in in this situation, obviously Derek Chauvin. So his family's not Derek Chauvin, but George Floyd, who is his family is representing him and basically trying to create a human story about this person, and so there's a reason that they do that, and I actually kind of agree with it. I think it's a good thing to do. They have to be really careful. It's kind of a sensitive thing because it can like screw your story into the ground. But yeah, I saw that on earlier today, and man, it was uncomfortable because these people having to relive the fucking death of their loved one, and then have to talk about it with really strict, words, and there's only so much.
To do it in a courtroom and in a hearing, in a trial.
It's gotta be so hard.
It's gotta be that's gotta be nightmarish. I can't imagine
live streaming it too. That's fucking there's 500,000 live viewers.
Well, let's be real. We're live streaming everything now. Everything.
Yeah.
If you leave, excuse me. There you go, sexy. Audience. That's for you. This is what happens when we drink black acidic coffee and try to talk to you at the same time. We're gonna get gassy. Yeah. I've either got to find a solution for that or lean into it. But anyway, people don't realize now. I was watching something yesterday that was talking about facial recognition technology and just how overwhelmingly just how much it permeates our world now, and people don't realize how many of us are in databases. Like if you protested during last summer, during the George Floyd protests, you're on a list, you're in a database, your face has been captured and uploaded into the system. And not just that way, you use Facebook, and you've got, every time you upload a selfie of yourself, you are giving the algorithm more data points on how to identify you from various distances, in various stages, ages of your life, from various angles, from all, all sorts of stuff. You're just making it easier.
So, those whole like
like we're doing right now.
Me over 10 years, like me 10 years ago, me today.
Totally.
There's some evidence to show that could be just like a marketing scheme. To get you to upgrade.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's
and you
so
do have
many
to work
of those little
for
games.
them because now you've put the pictures right next to each other. They don't have to do it. They don't have to write anything to do it. Now they know you've done it.
Exactly. And yeah, I think that's another dude. So many of those little like Facebook games and stuff. I'm like, this is just data collection. This is a company tricking you into giving them complicated data about yourselves through these little games and
oh yeah. Quizzes.
The quizzes and all the little applets and stuff. Take this quiz to find out which house are you a member of, and like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from like a real economist perspective or a statistical perspective, or like a real, like, how do you design a real get to know your people, cut out all the variances, and try to, like when you're doing a product survey and you have to like screen all these people and find out if they have any preferences that might sway their opinion one way or another about certain things. You can't include their answer for certain stuff. Anyway, same thing.
Yeah. So,
how's your coffee?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is good. I like it actually. I get the. Sorry, I'm moving away from.
I feel decadent.
Do you feel decadent?
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel heavy. Like it's making me have to poop a little bit.
Ooh.
Yep. Feel pretty heavy.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to come out smooth too.
Maybe get some water. Maybe some fiber. Maybe a little.
I don't think I need any fiber. I think it's. I'm plenty regular.
That kind of smooth. Okay.
I think we figured out what it means now. We figured it all out. That's what heavy means. You're gonna
means you're gonna have a heavy, smooth one.
A heavy,
smooth release.
A heavy, smooth load, and you'll feel decadent while it's coming out too. I'm sorry, Rev Coffee. This is not the way to. Not the way to plug anybody's stuff. But hey, you're not paying us, so this is what you get.
Yep, this is free advertising.
If you'd like us to do a better job of representing your brand, give us some money. Here we are.
Shoot us an email.
Yes, if you'd like to respond to our proposal.
Propaganda.
So okay, with the whole Minneapolis story, right? So like, as all that's going down,
right,
in Minneapolis, about Minneapolis, guess what happens in Minneapolis?
Oh, how about a black guy gets shot
by another fucking police officer?
Another police officer.
Yeah. Because we're still not addressing the problem. I wish I knew who this was, so I could make fun of her better. Although I
don't think they've released her name yet.
I don't think so either.
Or have they?
What was the name of this dude? Right, Dante Wright.
I think it's turned out to be a female, although I don't think that really matters. But it does matter in terms of like the right wing narrative, in my opinion, because
her name is Kim Potter.
A lot of white women use the narrative they're afraid of black men. So for them to be all trigger happy is perfect. Is exactly why I think a lot of the police, need to just be rehired and retrained with all new approach to everything. Just start over. But you can't do it all in one day, but you can do a lot.
So okay, we were talking about this story when I first got here before we got on air, and you had said something about and she just got fired like the other day. No, that's
a different. You're getting the stories.
I'm getting the stories mixed up again. I'm thinking about the dude who got right. Who got maced.
Yes.
Who got pepper sprayed.
That police officer who talked shit fired. To the lieutenant and maced him and all over the traffic stop and he had his hands out. The whole thing.
Just now got fired. Yeah, because that dude sued. And
because the evidence came out.
Yeah.
The video got released.
The video,
and
right.
He's getting sued.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting sued,
sued,
and that's why the evidence came out. Is because he's.
Yeah. Oh, is that okay? So the lawsuit,
that's why it hasn't
and it
come
became
out.
public.
It became public when the guy filed the suit. Like he was like holding it all back, and because.
Yep.
y'all fucked with the wrong one. We're going to get into that one in a minute. They fucked with the wrong one. I could have told you that. I'm like, listen to that brother. Do you hear how I'm like, do you hear how crisp that brother's speech is?
He knows
like
all the words
yeah,
that he needs to say.
Mm-hmm. He was like, well, I'm just trying to understand what's happening here. This is what he's like, even as they're macing him. Yeah. The most upset he got is he was just like, this is fucked up. That was it.
Yep.
I'm like, y'all messed up. This guy has a lawyer. This guy knows lawyers. Like, you know what I mean?
Only $1 million. Only $1 million. Fuck $1 million.
That's all his lawyer thought. That's all his lawyer thought he could get.
$25 million, motherfucker. Right. Get you that money.
He's
you know what he
trust
said?
me, he's
you know
going
what he
for
said
as much
to him?
as he can get.
You know, the cop realized he was messing around with the wrong motherfucker when he was pulling out of the car because he checked his language. He said, "You are being arrested. Excuse me, you are being detained." Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's right. You were all riled up, and you started screaming the wrong shit and you're the guy who's been through the training, and is supposed to know the verbiage,
right?
And you're all fucking hyped up when the military guy's got his hands out the window.
Yeah. Well, that's how they.
Why are you freaking out?
Well, I'm watching that. That's just. Let me tell you, that's standard.
Yeah,
standard behavior. That's just. I'm watching that.
Yeah.
And going like. And I'm realizing to myself as I'm watching that clip, going like, oh, people don't realize like that's just how they treat us at traffic stops.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
I've never gotten that.
Oh, I've gotten it so many times. Being screamed at like that, and guns pulled, and you want to fucking die, N-word, and this and that. And, I mean, yeah, I've been asked, do you want to die today? I don't know, 8, 10 times, something like that. Like,
God.
Oh yeah,
wow,
oh yeah. Like outside of the times that I've been like held at gunpoint, which has happened like 3 times by police officers.
Never been held at gunpoint.
I mean, people don't realize it, dude. It's crazy. Like it's just open season on you. They just abuse you, and it's like they can't wait to do it. They come in with this searing hot hatred, and talking to you like you killed their mother. You know, like just for being there, just for existing. So anyway, the woman who shot this kid because he was 20 years old. Let me put it this way: the woman who shot this police officer, Kim Potter, which of course her name is some shit like Kim Potter. I worked for a woman. I worked for a woman named Kim, and she was as big as a Potter, and she was racist too.
My aunt is named Kim, and she's a fucking cunt. And she's a racist.
Don't name your white daughters Kim. Don't do it.
Nah. I'm probably not allowed to say that word.
What? White?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say white. Oh, that's just a color. So you're right. Kim Potter. So she had been on the force longer than this kid had been alive.
Yeah.
She resigned.
Should have better known better.
She resigned, and the police chief also. She and the police chief Gannon. Also, we don't know how to pronounce your names either. Tim Gannon also resigned Tuesday. They resigned on Tuesday. The mayor said the city did not ask her to resign.
She'll be rehired somewhere else.
Why the fuck? Exactly. That's why she resigned.
Because there's no national database for keeping up with stuff like this.
I mean, people
all they have to do is change.
They're going to know who she is, but it doesn't matter because they protect their own.
Yeah, well, they protect their own.
Hire them,
and even with the internet, you can go and expose this person in the new city that they moved to, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Well, that's because this is what police offices do. Police departments do anyway. Is they just they trade those few bad apples that they say that they have. Right. They trade them like fucking playing cards.
That's correct.
They trade them like fucking pogs. If you're over 30, you'll know what I'm talking about. They just exchange them fucking things. They pass them around like doobies. They're just like, here you go. Here's our bad cop. We're not allowed to have him anymore.
Right.
Do you have a bad one you can send us so we can use him to kill all these black folks? Minnesota Department of Public Safety Bureau of Criminal Apprehension identified Potter as the officer who shot Wright on Sunday. Medical examiner said Wright died of a gunshot wound to the chest and classified his death as a homicide. So, and then here's the fun part, right? I'm reading this on USA Today for anybody who's curious.
Yeah.
Gannon said he believed Potter mistook her firearm for her taser when she shot Wright. Get the fuck out of here. You're 48 years old. You've been a police officer for 26 years, and you don't know the difference between a gun and your fucking taser?
Yeah. They look radically different in your hand when you pull them out. So how unaware were you of what was happening? And why, again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Why do we have to actually, like, if you, like, you know that you pull the person over or you go to interact with somebody that you know has a warrant and an arrest warrant out for them, you're supposed to be detaining them.
Why are you dealing with them on solo?
Yeah, why are you dealing with them solo?
Why do you not have backup?
Why are you guys not? Why are you like making the scene go down and in such a way, like, because they've got this narrative that it's got to happen right now as quickly as possible, or we're wasting time and money, or they could go and be dangerous to society. And it's like, that's true to an extent, because then your methods of arresting them become dangerous for society,
right?
And the whole thing becomes dangerous for everyone involved. So there's an easier way to do this and a not easy way, and they're constantly choosing like the not easy way, and it's the way that is it's easy if you've got all the cards stacked on one side and they can just kill the person and be done with it.
Sure.
And just it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's how easy it is for them right now. They choose to just kill the person because all the cards are stacked on there, and they can write the narrative as they want.
Especially if it's a person that knows about a long corrupt history of one of these people in these places, like George Floyd.
Yeah.
Knew Derek Chauvin for years and years, and had multiple run-ins with him, and multiple times Derek Chauvin had wrongfully done some shit to him.
Yes.
So yeah, of course he killed him. He goes, you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of this guy. He's seen too much. I'm gonna just get rid of him. What's he gonna do? Fucking little dope fiend ass N-word? Like, ain't nobody gonna believe him. No one's gonna believe his story.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like this shit with.
So where's it gonna go? What's gonna happen
with Potter?
Nothing. Nothing. Remember, it's an accident. You have to. That's their way out. It's like, well, she didn't intend to do it, and she was acting in good of the community. She was doing what she thought was right.
Yeah,
her feelings, what she was feeling.
Gannon said officers tried to arrest Wright because of an outstanding warrant. Court records show Wright was being sought after, failing to appear in court on charges that he fled from officers and possessed a gun without a permit during an encounter with Minneapolis police. But so this was something else that I read, and fuck you, USA Today, for not having this in there. But
so they're saying he was potentially armed.
That he was fleeing from police and possessed a gun without a permit during an encounter with them back in June. I don't know the details on that.
We have interacted with him, and he possessed a gun without a permit. So now we can justify potential gun ownership or gun possession.
And you love how they use. That
could be anybody.
And you love how they use both.
That could be anybody.
And you gotta love how they use both excuses. Well, we thought. First of all, I didn't think it was a gun. But if I did think it was a gun, I would be totally right to shoot him, though, right? Because I thought he had a gun. In fact, I know he had a gun because we know he had one before, and we told him that we know that, and then he ran away. So I had to. Clearly, I had to murder him.
Right. The district attorney or the local prosecutors really, there's only like one other person, the attorney general, maybe the only other person that needs to like sign off on this whole process for it to just be like to go away.
Oh shit. She's like, nah, she set this shit up. Video from Potter's body cam shows an officer on the driver's side of Wright's car begin to arrest Wright when Potter steps forward and grabs Wright's arm. Wright then appears to re-enter the driver's seat in a struggle in the video. Potter is heard shouting taser as she draws her firearm and shoots Wright. Wright drives away, and Potter is heard shouting, "Oh shit, I just shot him." Yeah, she set that shit up.
It's still one of those. I still think that if you're going to go and be a police officer and you make a fatal decision like that, that's why I think our policing just needs to stop with the fatal. Like we don't need to be empowering our police officers with fatally killing people at all.
Right.
At all. Period. like other countries are doing just fine with not having guns on the fucking street with their police officers. Like there are other ways to apprehend criminals without lethal force.
Check this out. Potter was also one of the first officers on the scene of a fatal police shooting in 2019 when officers shot an autistic man, Kobe DeMock Heisler, who had allegedly grabbed a knife, the Star Tribune reported. The newspaper, citing an investigative report from the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, reported Potter told 2 officers involved in the shooting to exit the residence, get into separate squad cars, turn off their body-worn cameras, and to not talk to each other. Mm-hmm. So this bitch is dirty.
Yeah, she's dirty.
Super dirty.
Yeah,
and she knows how to avoid detection, and she knows how to get away.
That's right.
With breaking the rules.
That's right. And
oh
shit, I just shot him. Yeah.
Shit, I just shot him.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yep.
Taser. Yep. Oh shit, I just shot him.
Yep. They've all realized that, and they've all circulated that information, so they know that if you ever have to do this, this is what you
just
say.
Just yell taser.
Just yell taser. And then say, "Oh shit, I just shot him."
I foresee an episode of South Park where someone yells taser and shoots token. Like, you know they're gonna hit that.
They're coming right for us.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
There's
exactly.
Your South Park quote.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I feel like they're gonna. But it's like, yeah, exactly. They've already done it.
But they did it in the name of hunting with Uncle Ned.
Right.
Right?
Oh shit, it's coming right for us.
You can justify all kinds of things if you just yell this one thing. You can shoot whatever you want.
Right.
South Park was fucking brilliant.
They're always dead on it, man. They're always right on it.
Boom, package it. Just slip it in the back door, you know?
Can I see what this lady looks like so I can make fun of her?
Yeah. You know, she's about 5'4". She's about 5'5", stocky little shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is not an attractive person.
I don't even care.
No, but I'm just there's a type to those mean police police officers, period.
Yeah, and they think they're hot shit.
Mean female police officers. There's definitely a type. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, dude, you should have just leaned into that softball and volleyball phase.
I was gonna say softball.
Just lean
players,
into it. You'd have been happier.
Yep.
You should have gone to a liberal arts school in San Francisco and just fucking take a trip to Lilith Fair and chill the fuck out.
Well, like her parents won't, parents got her.
Fuck your parents.
Parents got her by the roses, Rosetta Stone. By the rosary beads. By the rosary beads.
Yeah. Just come on. Just go. Don't stay. This is what I told the girl in Villa Rica. Just don't stay here and start lifting lots of weights and become a police officer. That's how people like me die. Just move away from here.
That's very
go
accurate,
find some
opinion.
pussy and lick it ferociously for the rest of your life. Do it now, so that you save the children. That's how you save them.
Yeah, man. Flower power.
Yep, exactly. That's how I stay sane. What the fuck was her first name? All I see is Potter. I forgot her first name. Something Potter. Fucking Mary Potter over here. Kim. That's right. Her name was Kim. I should remember because it's the name of my old racist boss. Right. Yeah.
I'd say that.
Who also, I'm pretty sure she shoots black people too. I'm just, allegedly. I just feel, I don't know she does. I just feel like she does. I feel like my ex-boss she just shoots black people. Yep. See, this is what I'm talking about. She's got this big old... She's got that like egg-shaped face.
Oh man!
Now that's a cold sore. That's not a. That's not a.
That's an actual cold sore.
That's a for real cold sore. No, this type of lady does not wear lip rings.
Oh
Absolutely not. Oh yeah. This is a real miserable looking. I wish I could I'll put her up on the screen during the YouTube. This is a miserable looking woman. It's definitely that like that sad shade of mom blonde that they all wear for some reason. Like you can tell she's not a blonde, but she just
definitely.
Yeah, it's just to hide the gray, and just people think blonde is cute, so I wear blonde. Yeah, she's got that weird the square chin that hangs all the way down like between her breasts. You know what I mean? That wasn't the image that I was looking at, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. Whichever one. She's ugly in all of them. And I realize we're like in a thing here where it's like, don't make fun of people for how they look.
Yeah, this one.
She murdered a 20-year-old black kid. Yeah, there's the picture.
Oh
yeah.
my God, no, she's a total Karen.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definite.
She's
That's definite Karen. She looks like my 5th grade teacher.
She may as well. Do you remember a few months ago or last? Yeah, back over the summer when there was that video that went viral of the cop sitting in her cop car boo-hooing because the fucking she thought that the McDonald's person that was like selling her food in the drive-thru had done something to her food, and she just totally projected. Nothing actually happened.
No,
but she was just projecting all of that, and then it sat in there and boohooed about how scary it is for her to be white and a cop now and a female.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh
that's this bitch for sure. That's absolutely this chick.
God. Yeah, that's her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fuck her.
Yeah, I've met this type, and this is definitely. You know what's funny? She does actually kind of look like my ex-boss Kim. She not look like her, but it's the same type. It's the same. They use the same hair dye. It's the same thing. It's the same cut. They've got that same. I drink a little bit too much look about their skin. They've got the same dead eyes. That just no feeling, no emotion behind the eyes. That required me to hit the microphone for some reason. It was the dead behind the eyes. And then this kid just looks like a nice kid. He looks like a nice kid. Yep. She looks like a mean troll. She looks like she was involved in the making of The One Ring.
She looks like it doesn't surprise me that she shot a fucking young black man.
She looks like she protects the Black Gate of Mordor. She looks like...
The American Black Gate of Mordor definitely is that right there.
It's the well, it's more like the American gate against blacks, but than the Black Gate of Mordor.
That's what I thought you were. It's
the gate of black murder.
Black murder. Murder. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
She likes it too. She likes black murder a lot.
Yeah.
It's her favorite thing. She looks like.
Dude, I have 6 minutes left on my phone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of space.
Well, we're already an hour and 6 in. So, okay, well, then we'll keep going until that runs out of space. And that'll be the end of the regular episode.
We'll take a main shot.
We'll do the main, and then we'll hang out. We'll hang out on Twitch for Paul, basically.
Paul, thanks for being here an hour ago. I don't know if you're still here.
Yeah, right. If you're still here, that's who knows. Yeah. I guess what else is going on here? But yeah, I had to talk about that.
I had a little something on a little update on the Matt Gaetz story.
Oh yeah, there's definitely updates on the Matt Gaetz story. Go ahead, you share yours for sure.
Well, I found out that he has been. Not only is he now being investigated for his child sex trafficking stuff and for paying for sex which actually I don't actually have a problem with, but just the way he's going about it is all fucked up. But the child sex trafficking, child sex is all really fucking its own thing. And then he's also being investigated for his House Ethics Committee situation where he was showing the phones to other those phone pictures of the naked ladies or nude ladies or sexy photos on the House floor, and then there's a third one. Maybe I don't know if this is what you were going to talk about.
This might be what I have. I don't know.
But in Florida, he's actually he's being investigated for propping up a fucking Democratic candidate as a fake siphoning of votes candidate.
Wow.
Against
what?
Well, anyway, in one of the previous recent elections, basically this last election. But so apparently there's these audio recordings that somebody has released that I've heard a couple of them. Him calling the Democratic candidate and saying, he's literally on the phone saying, we think you're the future of the Democratic Party. He's like really like trying to boost this lady's ego, and they're trying to present that. And anyway, apparently you're not allowed to do that. No.
Yeah. He's manipulating the system.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Right. By propping up a fake Democratic candidate.
Right. Yeah. which by the way, who
thought she was real. Yeah. She thought she was actually doing a thing. And anyway, the whole thing has got way more news. I wish I had the story in front of me, but I don't. But dude, go look into that.
Well, here's what I got for me. It's just what he's been, because now he's coming out and he's speaking and trying to.
Yeah.
Which is like, dude, you're like, yo, man, you look like like in the Lost Boys when they actually show their vampire form. Like that's what you look like naturally. Like don't come out and try to look like a good guy and like, you know, he walks out with his little beady eyes. I haven't even begun to fight. We're gonna do this. I'm not going anywhere. And it's just like, all right, man. But
Isn't
you're just
wild. You're speaking at a like women's conference.
Oh, dude, yeah. And there was like a bunch of like, he says he's always been a champion of women.
They're all gonna regret that. They're all gonna regret
dude,
that.
He is shoving his foot so far into his mouth right now. And like, look, Matt, I'm sure that that's a fetish of yours, but like,
thanks for watching, by the way.
Now is not the time. You know what I mean? Now is not. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the show, Matt Gaetz. Please tip us, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
we'll stop if you tip us. Maybe.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
No. You tip us for doing this, I'm going to do it more and still just be like, tip us and we'll stop. But yeah, I love how he's like, I haven't even begun to fight for the American dream and values. And it's like, dude, haven't you been in office for like a decade? You haven't begun to fight yet? Like, could you start?
Yeah, you're in your late 30s.
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. Nah, you going somewhere, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you going somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Even what's his name went somewhere before he went bye. Epstein. Yeah. Even he went somewhere. You going somewhere, bro.
Oh yeah.
You going somewhere.
Yeah.
And once again, you better hope you don't wind up in Gen Pop, bro. Good luck. Don't let the brothers find you.
It's just another thing they have in common is that neither one of them killed themselves.
That's also true. Yeah. I hope Matt Gaetz also gets not suicided.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I don't. Well, we'll say it literally. I hope he doesn't commit suicide. That's what I hope.
Yeah.
That's how I'm putting it.
What a bummer that would be.
Yeah. Well, how sad would it be?
Yeah.
If he were to actually commit suicide, I hope he doesn't.
Right. It seems it. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, this is one we can't let another one get away.
Just remember, he says
you can't let another one get away.
Just remember, for when his body washes up on the shore, he said he's not going in. Just remember, when you find him hanging from his closet with his dick in his hand, that was an accident. Okay, he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Remember, just when you find him, you know, when he jumps out of a hotel room from the 20th floor story, he said he's not going anywhere. So just remember that. The real funny shit is the involvement of his dude Greenberg or whatever, who I was like, who is Greenberg? What does he do? He's just his associate. That's just his pussy guy. This is the guy that gets me pussy.
Oh yeah,
that's who that is.
He's
this pussy
connection.
And drug guy. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't contribute anything politically. I don't know that for a fact. I'm talking out of my ass. If you haven't realized that's what we do on the show by now, go fuck yourself. All right. He doesn't contribute anything politically. He's just his guy. He's just like, hey, I got pussy, weed, and Molly. And he's like, word, it's my associate. So I guess this guy sends him the money to go then buy children.
Right.
So he sent him $900. And then Gaetz, so he sent him $900. Greenberg sent Gaetz $900 on Venmo.
Yep.
And then Gaetz sent various amounts, adding up to $900.
Yep.
To the girls for school and tuition.
Yeah.
For school?
Yeah.
It was like school, books, and tuition or something like that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Adding up to
it's amazing.
$900. Also on Venmo.
Yes.
You fucking moron.
Yep. Yep.
And like to see this guy wearing his big toothy shit-eating grin, because it's clear.
He's like a wax museum model, you know.
He does look like he came out of a wax. He looks like a wax figure of oh man, he looks like they took like a wax figurine of like Matt Damon and then like let it melt in the sun for a few days.
Right.
And then just stuck it back in the regular room.
Yeah.
It's kind of
like Butthead.
He does look like Butthead. Yeah.
You know, fucking same teeth line and shit.
Yeah, yeah. He looks like if somebody
same hairline. I've put the photos next to each other. They look a lot alike. It's amazing.
I'm gonna do it for the. Yeah, we're gonna put it up. We're gonna throw it up there on the edited episode. This is what you get by watching the edited episode too. That's why you should watch both. Chat with us on Twitch and then go watch the edited episode and then tip us if you have money, which you don't if you're watching the show in the middle of a Tuesday. Yeah. So,
I think I can do it right here. Actually.
What's the final summation?
All right, here's Butthead.
There's Butthead.
There's Butthead. And then
where's Gaetz?
Okay.
Where's Rapey Gaetz?
Butthead. Wow, that's a PNG. That's cool. It's all like.
Oh, you could have just put that over the.
Butthead could just hang out with us.
Butthead can just hang out, right? We can just fucking key him in.
And then Gaetz, I have him right here.
Okay.
I'm sure this goober.
There's Gaetz. All right. So we got him there.
Next to each other.
There's Butthead hanging out. Oh yeah. That's the same. That's the same guy. Yeah. And okay, think about it. What Gaetz is what, like 39? That's about right. Okay, no. You guys, we've solved it. Butthead grew up, moved to Florida.
Yeah.
And became a politician because where else could Butthead become a politician?
Butthead is Florida,
but in Florida. And who else could become a politician in Florida but a Butthead? Right, pretty much. So, okay, think about it. Right, the show came out
in blue shirt too, like he's blue suit, blue t-shirt.
Totally
amazing.
Look, and if you look underneath his shirt and tie, it's an AC/DC shirt. He wears it like Superman.
Oh, yeah. He's got a pin on. That's probably what is on his pin today. Is AC/DC.
No. Like, it's like when he's ready to fuck teenagers. He goes into not a phone booth, but I don't know what. He goes into he just runs into like a high school bathroom.
Oh yeah.
And just rips his suit open and it's got AC/DC right there, and he's like, "This is what the chicks will think is cool."
Yeah.
And then he walks up, and he's like,
rave porta potty. It's always like in a rave porta potty.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what it is. He runs into a rave porta potty.
Yeah, like a festy porta potty.
And then he walks up to some girl. That's probably where he does it, is at festivals, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's at Ultra Music Festival in fucking Miami every year.
Right.
Walks up to some 16-year-old rolling her face off on some not really Molly, and he's like, hey baby.
Hey.
I'm like a politician. Hey. I'm like pretty rich.
That's like pretty cool.
I've been to the White House. This all started from the movie.
You've
man.
got boobs.
This all like, hey, I can like,
I got it.
Hey baby, I can like buy beer. Nice. This is what he's been waiting for the whole time. Hey Beavis, check it out. I heard that if you become a politician, you can like do it with chicks
and stuff,
and they can't like tell on you and stuff.
Yeah, chicks.
Remember that time we took a bus across America and we met that dude Bill? He told me all about it. It's like all you need is like to say, I did not have sexual relatives with that woman, sir. I think the word is relations, butthead. Shut up, dumbass. You don't know words.
Threatening me?
You're stupid. And that's how it happened. Because think about it. What, the show came out in like 91? Or let's do it from the movie, right? The movie came out in like 97. They were like 14.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's when he went to the White House, and he met and probably also exposed himself to Chelsea Clinton. And then she threw him out of the window. Right? Remember that scene? Hey, baby, I noticed you have braces.
Yes.
I have braces too, right?
Yes.
And she threw him out of the window. Now, what we didn't see, the cut scene, is that Bill was like, "Oh, hey there, little bud. Hey, you seem kind of familiar. Hey, you remind me a lot of
Bill Clinton could totally be Butthead's dad.
He's totally a butthead. Hey, you remind me a lot.
He's a butthead.
They thought it was that guy out in the desert. No, it was really Bill Clinton. The guy out in the desert, he was just Beavis's dad, right? But he looks a lot like Butthead. And actually,
oh my God.
And actually, it was Bill Clinton. He's like, "Hey, you know them two sluts from Highland that your daddy banged? Actually, I was out there too, but that was me.
Have you ever seen?
I'm from not too far away from where you guys are from. I was through there touring to try to get my senator seat. These two sluts, they got them on the bus. I did them with a cigar. And then you came out, Hubo. I left you behind. but let me get your arm fixed up there, boy, and teach you a few things. And then Butthead was off to the races, you know? Taking advantage of teenagers and getting himself into Florida politics.
Have you ever seen the 3D renderings of what Beavis and Butthead would look like if it was like more of like a few? They're pretty fucking creepy.
There was one guy who handmade like latex or like something like that, like figurines of them or wax or whatever it was, and like and did like detailed skin and hair, and it was like really kind of grotesque looking.
Right.
But it was cool though, like what they would look like.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, and Butthead would look like he would look like him.
And it's like, damn, like there are a couple people I know growing up. Like there's this like archetype.
Oh, there's a few people who look like Butthead for sure. My theory is that those were two kids that
they're definitely real people.
Yeah, that they were like
they're based on.
I mean, I knew those. We all knew those kids growing up, right?
Yeah.
The kids whose parents were just never around. They had no education, no home training, no supervision, and they were just hell bent on just destruction, and they bought into all the toxic masculinity tropes, but also all the like anti-society tropes. So there was almost like a cool streak to them, but it was just like no good to be around them. No good.
Yeah.
Whatever was happening around them was bad. And they were just too dumb and oblivious to know or care. And they had no future anyway. So like, fucking what does it matter?
Isn't it interesting that sometimes like the dumbest people causing the dumbest destruction like rarely seem to suffer from their own destruction?
Yeah, or well, in any way that they
the alcoholic who wrecks the car but like doesn't get injured,
right?
Because they're so like, whoa.
It's like, I don't know if you've seen or heard about this. I've been watching.
Tense up in the wreck because they're all like drunk.
Coco and I, but everybody else tenses up and dies, and the alcoholic is like fine because they're just
idiots. Don't tense up because they're not thinking enough.
Well, they're drunk, so they don't have the reaction
there's that,
time.
But I'm talking about,
like,
I'm comparing it to the drunk, where there's the person who's so fucking dumb, they don't even realize what's going on, that they rarely even get affected by the destruction.
They don't even brace themselves for and they're not worried about it. Yeah. Then there's also the people who like, they're not even dumb, they're just like, those are the people that I've learned to look out for in my life because I've had a few of them around me. There was
derelict.
There's people who just like, they're like, oh, I don't have to worry about generating for myself. I'll just sweet talk and schmooze and snuggle up to just everybody else, and we'll just get everything for free, and we'll just party for free. And as they're doing all that, there's just a path of fucking destruction they leave in their wake as they use and abuse and manipulate every single fucking person they come across, and they don't care. They don't care. But at the same time, it looks like, they're just never affected by any of it. But stick around one of them long enough. They are. They are, but they've just accepted, that's just what, no, that's just, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. They're just like, whatever, details. No, it's going to be fine. Coco and I have been watching that show, The Serpent, about this dude, Charles Sabrage. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
I think I did hear. I think I saw it pop up, and what was it about?
It's about, this guy was a, he pawned himself off as a gem dealer. He's this like half Vietnamese, half Indian dude who grew up in France.
Okay.
With his mother and a stepfather.
Is it in French? And it's like subtitled?
Parts of it are. But he knew English too.
Okay.
And so he was, as an adult living in the Far East, living in Asia, in various parts of Asia, actually. And his whole game was to seduce Westerners and rob them of all their shit, and he was also just killing them. The dude was a gem dealer and drug dealer, and he was also using the drugs to poison people, and he would make them sick, make them believe that they were sick with something they caught out there, and I'll help you and come stay in my apartment, and he would just make them sicker and get all their information over time, and then he would steal their passports and their money and their traveler's checks and everything. And he was a good forger too, so he would forge. So he would just, he would slip identities on and off like fucking underpants.
Yep.
And just put on a new one and go travel to a country. He'd kill somebody and then immediately travel on their name.
Yeah.
Right? Throw the police off and then travel back on somebody else's name.
Sure.
And just
it looks like a one-way trip for that person too.
And it's like I know it's a young person, they're traveling, and their families are. We haven't seen them for a couple months. Well, they just traveled. They're over here now. Exactly. We haven't heard from them. Oh yeah, they're. And then this is in the 70s. So they're like, fucking long hair hippies, druggies. Who cares? Yeah, this is what they do. They disappear. Whatever. Yeah. Your kid's a druggie. Get over it. They're gone.
You don't have cameras everywhere.
Right.
Documentation is kind of like not all that great.
And so it's like as you see like this time period occur in this guy's life, it's like. After a while, it's fucking mayhem. And he's like running from one place to the next. He's traveling from one country to the next. He's always just barely escaping capture or breaking out of this dude, fuck Ted Bundy. This guy broke out of prisons in Dakar, prisons in Bangkok, prisons in all over the place, just breaking out.
Sure.
Paying his way out, escaping. Whatever method it was that he could get out, he was getting out.
Yep.
And he's a psychopath, so he doesn't care. He's like, yes, that's what happened. Yes, no, you must put this behind us. Like talking to the girl he convinced to move out from Quebec to like stay with him and like be his wife, who's really just using to have an in with Westerners and Europeans. He's like, look, I have a white girl and I speak English in my class and I have money. You can trust me.
It's quite the commitment.
Dude, and she's just like
being a scam artist. I guess
she's just like, how can you deal with all this fucking chaos? And after a while, right, this is chaos. And how can you live like this? And he's just like, you have to put all of that out of your mind. We'll have a new future now. Everything will be fine. It's like, dude. So it's a lot of those people. It's like, it's not that they don't ever,
right.
They're in the crash too, but it's like they're so focused on whatever it is they're trying to get that they'll just continue to just live through that stuff. And that's how I've like learned to identify those people. So I'm just like, your life is just always in fucking turmoil and chaos.
Yeah.
And you're always on the outs with somebody, and someone's always done you wrong, and it's always somebody. What are you fucking doing?
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
Like,
right.
There's a few people in the burn scene that like, Coco and I were like cool with, and we had to kind of, we just like, nothing like happened between us and them directly, but we just like watch, and we're like, oh, that's a sociopath.
Yep.
Look at them, just using, bouncing back. They're always in need of a place to stay. Yep. They're always looking for a new gig. Yes. Never a job, always a gig.
Always, yeah. They can't. Yeah, they always need something right now, but they can't commit to anything long term.
And nothing is ever their fault.
Never, no,
ever,
hell
never,
no.
ever, never,
hell no,
never,
hell no.
Yeah. So
there's always something new, big coming up.
Yeah. And there's
something
always
in the pipeline,
and there's always a new opportunity they've got that you should get in on the ground level.
Oh, there's that. Oh, yeah.
And they've got a party that they'd like to invite you to that they're promoting.
Oh,
that won't happen because it's going to get canceled before.
Yeah,
but
they're not actually throwing it. They're just.
But they want you to. They want
their
you to
friend
pay.
really is, and they think they're going to get something by bringing people.
Yes, and they like you to. They'd like you to pitch in for alcohol for the party, and we can get it all at a discount, and then you'll get your money right back. But just send it to me right now.
Yeah, yeah.
That type
Which you'll never get back, and there's definitely not going to be as much alcohol as everyone thought.
No.
If any.
No. You're buying them drugs for the night, and maybe a ride somewhere, and maybe helping pay their rent, and yeah. So, that's all that stuff. The last thing I got before we close out the regular portion of the show is so vaccines, because we mentioned it earlier. We said we were going to get them, but we were going to get to them. We are getting them. He's got his.
I'm done.
I have half of mine.
But you just got yours like 2 weeks ago.
Like 3 weeks ago? Now. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm having to wait a little more than a month to get my shot just because there wasn't an available appointment.
Right.
Until the 26th of this month. Yeah. So I'm still another 2 weeks out.
Yeah. The place where we went, man, at this point, like that you just show up with your card.
Oh, for real?
Yep. I didn't even have an appointment.
Okay.
I didn't make one. I just showed up and I was like, here's my card from the first one and my ID.
Okay.
I need my second dose. And they were like, cool.
All right.
So, yeah, it worked.
Well, we must have an abundance here, but you know who does not is Michigan.
Oh, fuck.
Of course not.
And they're not going to get any either,
No,
apparently.
Michigan won't get more vaccines amid COVID surge. So they're having they are having the worst surge that they have had since the beginning, basically, since like the first big spike in the pandemic, which is just a reminder to people, this shit isn't over. It's not done.
Yeah, that's right.
I would say, if you had to ask me, and go ahead and get mad now, but remember this in a year, because I'm rarely wrong about this type of thing when I feel it in my gut like I do now. Prepare for another year of weirdness. Prepare for another year of minor to major lockdowns. Prepare for another year of not really being able to see the people you want to see, not really being able to travel, having to wear a mask, having to social distance. Be prepared for this shit to flip back the other way too. Just because it's going in one direction now doesn't mean it's going to continue. There's no like single vector to this thing. It's been up and down this whole time.
The longer we let it drag out, the more variants we're gonna see.
Exactly, and we're seeing some of those variants now. So this is part of the problem, right? Is that A, not enough people are taking the vaccine, and they're going, oh, there is a vaccine, therefore it is over, and everyone's rushing back out. Okay, let's run back out and do everything. Like, yay, let's go drink and around other people and breathe on them, and you know, fucking whatever. Hey, let's squeeze into tight spaces with fucking people we don't know, and then imbibe a neurotoxin that inhibits decision making and motor function and all that shit,
and weakens the lungs
and the immune system and all that stuff. Right, and causes all sorts of other side effects that further weaken the immune system for longer periods of time. Let's all do that. And so that's what's going on in Michigan. Is that so that happened, and now they have a huge boom, a big spike again. And you know, the worst number since the beginning of the pandemic means that, you know, you're talking in you know, in comparison to the rest of the world, big numbers, because that's where we were. We were on the top, right? We had some of the worst numbers. So Michigan's got some of the worst numbers right now. And the thing is, they are afraid to reroute more vaccines to Michigan because they don't know. Because if there's a spike in Michigan,
right,
there could be a spike somewhere else real soon, and we don't know where that will be.
Right.
So if we divert it away from somewhere else, now we're gonna look at multiple spikes that we can't do anything about.
So actually,
you know, is the logic.
It just happens to turn out that the states and the cities that have actually taken COVID more seriously and have got a higher population getting vaccinated are significantly less likely to be those states with breakouts.
Really?
Yeah, it's it's a real mind fucker. I can't explain it. It's like graphs and numbers and really complex equations. So you're not going to understand it.
Wait, just hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out.
You're not going to get it.
Are you implying that the adherence to safety guidelines...
I'm not implying, I'm blatantly saying it.
Okay, I'm having trouble with this. Are you implying, just to break this down?
Yeah.
Are you saying blatantly, you're saying this directly, you're saying, I've got you on record here. Yeah. You're saying that the adherence to health and safety guidelines as issued by the CDC and also local medical outlets, adhering to those guidelines, as well as distributing and people taking the vaccination. You're saying, let me see if I get this straight, that is directly proportionate to the severity of the outbreak in the area in question. That's what I
think I'm actually saying just the likelihood of an outbreak. You are exponentially increasing your likelihood of an outbreak. And in terms of intensity of outbreak, that's probably a good correlating number as well. I'm saying that I'm sure they do find themselves correlating often.
I'm using outbreak in the sense of just like the world has an outbreak of this virus right now. Like our whole country has an outbreak of this virus, and it's worse in some places than others. It's not because let's be clear. Because it's not like there's like a place that's like, we don't have COVID, but this other place has COVID. No, the country has COVID.
The country, right. Like the country has COVID.
We have this pandemic.
Yeah. And the cities just happen to be really populated, so the numbers are kind of skewed, you know, in terms of you know, you can't just say like, well, look, they've got more cases of COVID. It's like, yeah, but be per capita, more people, and, right? Yeah, and how are they looking now in terms of vaccination, in terms of those numbers spiking? And it's like, well, a lot of these places have been taking it more seriously than the people in the country, and now that's coming to roost,
right?
You know,
right. And then of course, here's the other thing is that To make matters worse, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been pulled temporarily.
Yeah, that makes things pretty chaotic.
They're not distributing any more of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. What's going on with
what is
that?
Up with that?
Well, apparently it's causing pretty severe blood clots can't be addressed in the same way that blood clots are normally addressed.
Right.
Which
because blood clots happen even more commonly with approved drugs too, like birth control.
Right.
So it's almost kind of like,
but apparently
the blood clot is happening in a unique way,
in a unique area that you can't treat with regular blood clot medication or regular procedures.
That could be tricky.
Yeah, it's causing a problem. So they're going, hey, we gotta halt this.
Yeah.
And some more information that came out along with that is that they're also having some of those blood clotting problems and some other issues. It's very, 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 very small, like a 0.012% or something like that,
right,
of women between 18 and 48 are having some of those problems with the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines too, with the second shot, after the second shot. So,
wow.
And man, I just hate to support the anti-vax people at all.
Yeah.
I really hate to.
Yeah.
But that's the truth of the matter is
you can relate to at least like, hey, if you're already feeling skeptical, like there is some information out there that would support your skepticism.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, like my friend Darut that through this show I went to on Friday, he was saying like, look, he's like, I think I'm gonna take it. He's like, but I'm gonna wait. He's like, I'm gonna wait 6 months, a year to just see what happens. He's like, I've been in the military. I shot up with all sorts. He's like, I'm not afraid to be a guinea pig, but I also know that like they work on this shit. Like it takes a few iterations to like get it right. So he's like, I'm gonna watch and wait.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to make a call on, but I get it. And then here's why. And I guess the reason I'm saying this is like, man, I know too many left people that are like all too quick to, we got to put our fucking fingers down, guys. We're too quick to wag fingers at people. We are, man.
So, right. Yeah. Well, what's an appropriate response? Some people are,
I mean, just,
empathize.
Yeah. I mean, I think always start with empathy and compassion. And I don't say that in a hippy dippy way of like, come to everybody with a sense of empathy and treat everyone, be friendly and nice to everyone all the time. No, fuck that. Empathy and compassion is just a state of understanding, right? So just because you disagree with somebody or it's not what you would do doesn't necessarily make what they're doing wrong, right? There's no, the only absolute is that there are no absolutes. There's no absolute right or absolute wrong, right? Things are dependent upon situations and
context
and people's individual circumstances. Yeah. Not everything is right for everybody, but I believe it is right for everybody to do what is right for them. I believe what is truly right for them, not like what's most convenient or what they most want, but what is really right for them. If everybody really acts in their best interest, that's in the interest of everybody. In the sense that like
that's a libertarian's perspective.
It depends on how you mean that. What I mean by that is so like in the sense of like there are like, it's like, so let's say like if I was the type of comic, and there are those comics like this who like, I get mad when someone else gets an opportunity because I feel like I should have it. Well, like
that's just
to the point of like trying to, but there are people who operate. It's not necessarily. It's, to me, it's operating under the principle of scarcity. I have to. If I'm going to get something, I've got to make sure someone else doesn't get it because there's only that one thing for me.
It's called opportunism.
I think opportunism grows out of, I think opportunism is the behavior that grows out of that type of thinking, right?
Yeah, fear of minimal resources, of limited resources or something. And then also feeling like, if somebody else has something that they're getting it, that I'm and I'm not getting it, that I'm at a loss.
Sure, right.
Okay.
And so, and I think,
I'm just trying to repeat to be clear.
Yes, and I think that type of thinking expands to, well, here's how I handled this problem. Therefore, everybody else should be handling it that way, or like because if they don't, that somehow negates the effect of how I'm trying to handle it, or the legitimacy of how I'm handling it.
Yeah, right.
And so to put this in concrete terms, like I've been watching, and it's a conversation that we've been having in the local Atlanta comedy community here. And I'm sure it's been had in comedy communities all around the country, and probably in other performance communities too, where there are these comics, man. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of y'all talking this shit don't work. You didn't work before the pandemic. You don't work now. You won't work after the pandemic. And you're talking shit about people who work and who rely on that work for their livelihood. So some of you need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Got it.
But granted, have your opinion. You decide to. But so it's like, okay, they've decided I'm going to stay in. I'm not going to go to shows. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that.
Sure.
I made a decision close to that. I wasn't as hard-lined. I did some outdoor shows. I did some shows that were, if it felt safe to me, if I felt like people could come there safely, I made an executive decision. I made a judgment call. Part of that call was, hey, I can't afford to completely fall out of the memory of the comedy scene while this is happening, because I know that other people aren't going to. They're going to stay in it, and I need to have some sort of relevance when everything comes back, or I'm going to come back to no work, right? Where the people who have been moving and working, their names are fresh in bookers.
Absolutely.
So they're going to be getting booked immediately, and you're not if you're not there. But then you get these people who weren't there in the first place. Now they're posting these fucking long posts, and I have something to say to all of you. If you're a person who's all this vague posting, passive aggressive, smarmy, wussy bullshit. It's such bullshit. It's such cowardice, right? To go and make these vague posts. Dude, if you have a problem with something somebody's doing and it really affects you, talk to them. Talk to them privately. Talk to them directly. Hey, man. Hey, excuse me.
Passive aggressive public calling out without naming them is so lame.
And honestly,
fucking lame.
And because y'all know better, y'all know if you went out and called out the bookers you're vague posting about, watch your ass in the comedy scene. Or if you called out the local favorites that everybody fucking loves, who are good people and they're professional and they make everybody laugh, they do great, they kill on every show, and who run shows and they book too, guess what? They're not fucking working with you, and you know that. You know that. That's why if you're a person who is doing XYZ, then I hope you feel happy that the pandemic is blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Stop blaming other people for something that's out of all of our control. This shit is FUBAR. This shit is it's fucked up, right? And it's fucked up for everybody, and everybody is trying to figure out what to do. And there are valid points all over the place. Some people anticipated, hey, there's going to be some problems with this vaccine. Some people said, hey, I think they're going a little overboard, and it's more important to me that I'm able to have some kind of business than to, be absolutely certain. I don't agree with everybody. I don't agree with all points, but it's hard to navigate. Yeah. And who are any of us to go out into the world and wag a fucking finger? This was my original point. Wag a finger at other adults for figuring it out for themselves the best that they can. Right. Now,
you can wave your finger directly at Trump. He had a real world effect on all of that. So if there's anybody you can blame, I mean,
shake a fist at that motherfucker. Fuck away the finger, honestly. Shake a fist at that motherfucker.
Yeah, sure. Pitchforks, man.
I mean, and that's what we're doing here. I'm gonna disagree with you on the pitchforks. I was afraid it was gonna be. That sounds too much like tiki torches to me. I don't like that. They kind of go together. Let's not encourage people to pitchforks. Don't get the pitchforks. But
well, the pitchforks came out on the 6th, and we saw how that worked out. So. That's what idiots with pitchforks looks like.
Yeah. No, but I mean, definitely, we should definitely be speaking truth to people in power who are making decisions on our behalf.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of democracy.
They're making decisions on our behalf, and they're doing so not in our interests, right? That's a real thing.
That's a corrupt democracy.
That's a corrupt democracy, and it absolutely is. These people that are making decisions on our behalf against our self-interest and against our free will. Yes. And it doesn't matter what we tell them and what we say we need and what the actual science and data says. They're just doing what's going to benefit them in the short run economically. That shit is fucked, and we should be fighting them hardcore. But what they have us doing is wagging fingers at each other and be like, you're the fucking problem with America. No, you're the problem with America. And it's just
it's all stupid.
shut up. Shut up. Stop wagging a finger at each other. Stop talking shit to each other. Put your fist down. Put your fist down. It's okay. We're all friends here. Have a cup of coffee. Shut the fuck up.
Have some coffee.
It's going to be smooth and decadent and heavy. And that's what you need. You need this. You need this to make that bullshit inside just silky and smooth and just have all that heavy flow just come right out of your asshole. It just needs to come out so you can relax. That's what it needs. It just needs to get that shit out of your system with the light roast. Suck it down, shut the fuck up, and sit on the toilet.
Suck it down, shit it out.
So yeah, suck it down, shit it out, and shut it up.
The light roast.
The light roast.
Suck it down, shit it out.
Well, that's those are my final words.
Yeah,
that's all I got. So
that's good. That's good.
Well, all right. We've had barely anyone hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Paul, if you're still here.
Paul gave it a shot, and he was like,
Thank you for still being here. Yeah, Paul did give it a shot.
He tried.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Paul.
He's always at least got one cool factoid, cornholes on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't have been in Nashville to see it. At what point, what reason do I have to watch ESPN? And where would I see that broadcasted on television? Nowhere. Nowhere. Well, all right, guys. Jason, if you don't have anything else.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some major stuff going on. It's like 2 or 3 stories. There's some depressing shit going on. Like some of the stuff's like fucking hard for me to be light about. I'm finding it hard to be light about some stuff.
Like
I'll be honest, like shit.
There's an Iran and Israel story, but
I love that Israel's trying to blame or that Iran's trying to blame Israel, and that their action is like we will take vengeance as we feel is appropriate, and it's just like
I get them vowing revenge because Israel's just been like straight fucking with them.
Absolutely,
dude. It's like
I am not a fan of Israel.
Don't decide to take that the wrong way. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not an anti-Semite.
You ain't taking my show. I don't work for Nickelodeon. You can't cancel me. Fuck you. Right.
Yeah.
There's no anti-Semitism here.
No.
The Israeli state, the government, right, and the religious moral justification they use to bolster their apparently free pass on human rights violations
against the Palestinians,
against Muslims, which the Palestinians are now, most of them.
Right.
It's fucking sick, and it's like just because they're our allies, they just get a free pass to just bomb people, poison people, murder people. It's like, yo, dude, like,
backing.
Yo, they're the fucking.
That's right.
I mean, dude. Dude.
In the name of Jesus and God, and which is ironic.
In the name of the Black Cube.
Yeah, right.
for real.
Yeah.
And all that implies, except Q, you fucking weirdos. You mix all the good conspiracy theories in with your Q bullshit. Yeah, everything except that. But no, there's some weird mystical old magic shit about the Black Cube. That's an intense, dense symbol, and that real Black Cube that's in the, no one knows where it came from.
Right.
No one knows who built it, how, when.
That's the great
where
way
it came from.
That's the great way to bring God into the world.
Something in there that they are protecting. They won't let anybody get near that fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah. It's like similar type of thing. It might be the Ark of the Covenant that's fucking in there.
Some people say that they're kind of like, while they're not literally cast from the same stone, but there's some evidence to show that there might be multiple things like what's in the Ark, and that there might be some other very powerful things like that were like maybe dispersed at one point and given to certain leaders of groups, like the fucking rings, like the rings, the one ring to rule them all,
and like Assassin's Creed, where they have that's like It's honestly, it's a really interesting. I really dig their whole premise and story. They mix in a lot of mythology and ancient religions, and then they kind of mix in the whole idea of like a progenitor race that existed before the cataclysm.
Okay.
So kind of like magicians of the gods type, footprints of the gods. So like a Graham Hancock, those types of arguments.
Oh yeah.
So they talk about.
I actually like Graham Hancock.
I fucking love Graham Hancock, and I believe in his work. And honestly, the more time goes on, the more vindicated he is. I like Randall Carlson a lot. He's one who works with Graham Hancock. There's a couple of Rogans with Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock.
Then I have seen that.
There was that one epic one where it was the two of them, and then one guy that was a skeptic who was like, arguing against them, and basically he just devolved into like smarmy remarks and like shitty comebacks. Sure. And Graham was just like, all right, I mean, if you're going to call me names, that's not what I'm here for. And like, I'm tired of people. You're always just calling me names and insulting me. I'm just trying to read the book, Like, Graham was like, what the fuck is with this shit, man?
Look, dude, I've got the text. I've traveled around the world. Like, here's just what I have found. Yes, it's kind of a wild narrative, but I mean, our history of people is kind of wild.
Kind of wild. So, Randall Carlson is the guy that the guy was with him, the tall, long-haired dude, and he's local. He's an Atlanta guy. Again, just the fucking coolest. Yeah, it's like every time I find, I'm like, man, this guy's awesome. They're like, oh, he's local to Atlanta.
Fuck yeah.
There's something about this place. I don't know what it is, but there's something about this place.
I can't leave it for some reason. Yeah, I want to.
It's a vortex.
You won't let me go.
Right. But yeah, in that game they talk about progenitor race. They call them the Isu, and they're supposed to be like, a people who created us first to kind of serve them, which kind of lines up with the whole like Zechariah Sitchin interpretation of the Sumerians and the Book of Enoch and all that stuff, where they're like, we made this race to mine gold for us, and then there was a battle over whether or not we should have free will and autonomy and all this whole thing. So they kind of take that.
Interesting.
They talk about these artifacts that were really Isu technology that became religious artifacts that then got scattered across the world, and you're kind of like finding them. And there's like these cults that are kind of devoted to them that also are in politics and trying to like run the world and suppress kind of free will. So it's interesting. They like basically the story of these games is like an aberration of like basically like I'm less like, yeah, this is probably the closest to like what, you know what I mean, of like what really happened. I'm fucking crazy, but whatever.
Did you hear about this like little tribe of like this little tribe on an island that it's supposedly like completely think that Prince Charles
Prince Philip was a god?
Yeah.
Because they had a prophecy about a person with light skin marrying a person of prominence, and they're like, you married your cousin, and they were of prominence. And
what a joke!
I mean,
I'm
not.
How sad! Like it's so sad, man. The colonizing
and fuck him for never telling them any difference. Like he knew that, and he was just like, oh, I love to go there. They think I'm a god.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, it's bloody wonderful. Dude. I go there. They give me all their women. They think I'm a god.
Dude, when we get off
all their children to fuck. It's great.
At some point, I'll share the text that my dad sent me the other day. My dad is like, born in the early 50s and just thinks that like the prince is just an awesome like polo player and like blah blah blah, and he just just in yes, and he had these like nice things to say, and I wrote him back, and I was just like, and he never wrote me back after what I said to him. I basically was just like, yo, dude, to be quite honest, I think he's kind of a piece of shit, racist, old fuck that enabled a really antiquated system that our world could be better without.
And also he banged his cousin. So
that was the first thing. But my dad had acknowledged that in his message. He goes, I found out something interesting about him and his.
And it's like, was that an interesting thing that you found out?
Like, yeah, but we all knew.
Did anybody find out that the Brits are fucking
inbreds?
Yeah, right. Like
the royal family is maybe not all Brits.
No.
But your royals are.
Although there are a lot of you that don't have chins, and it makes me wonder. Okay,
the royals really are just blatant inbreds.
Well, yeah, that's like how they established royalty. That's like to lock all the other family lines out of it.
Yeah,
that was their version of no, mine. I want this so bad, I'll fuck my sister to keep it.
Exactly.
on that note,
yeah, you want to end on the fuck your sister?
No, here I'm gonna end on this because this is one of the themes and it's one of the many sub themes in this show is what a piece of shit Ted Cruz is and how he's fuck Ted Cruz. So John Boehner, who and this reminds me, I'm gonna make an announcement before we get off. I'll make the announcement. I'll do the ends and then we'll get off. So real quick, first of all, thank you for watching the Light Roast and listening to it as always. If you are on Apple Podcasts in the Ukraine, please rate and review us. We'd like to make it to number 1 of your 48 comedy podcasts in the entire country. Thank you. We appreciate your, Nostrovia. Yeah. We appreciate your support.
That's Russian. I don't think they speak Russian. They speak Ukrainian.
But I think it's supposed to be really fucking similar.
Really similar.
It's like I think it's even almost American, Russian, but with a different accent. Really, it's I think it's more like a dialect than a different language. Yeah, like American English and British English.
Yeah.
It's similar, and I could be completely fucking wrong, and I'm sorry if I am.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why they think we're the best comedy podcast. They're like, these Americans know nothing. They're idiots. We like them. Anyway, if you guys are listening, rate and review and like and all that stuff, please. And if you're watching on Twitch, thank you for watching on Twitch. We're going to hang out for a little while after we shut the show down. Another 20-30 minutes, maybe more, we're not sure. If you are, please check us out on YouTube also. If you're on Twitch, please tip us if you can. We appreciate that. We got a tip button up down in the about section. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and comment and subscribe. All those things help us, and we'll respond to you. We're pretty active. We'll at very least give it a little like, or we'll say something back or something. For now, until we have enough people that we can ignore you for our own sanity. But for now, we'll talk to you. And then let's see. Is that all that stuff? I think that's all that stuff. For me, I will have some shows coming up. Follow us on our socials. There's the stuff at the bottom. Look at my Instagram. That is definitely where I promote whatever shows I'm going to be on. I'll put all that stuff up there for the rest of this month and into next month. I'm starting to get some bookings for that now as well. And also, people have been asking me, that's a nice word for it. People have been demanding that I make more bad news. It is coming. I'm making bad news. I'm going to announce right now that a week from today, on the 20th, on 4/20, right? The last season started on April Fool's Day. This day is going to start on the day in April for fools, like myself, who smoke lots of weed. We're black now on Twitch, but... Yeah, all right. So, I guess... Well, but the audio is still going, so I'm going to keep on talking. I guess this signifies the end of the episode. We're completely in black. So I will leave you with this. And this is the connection between bad news coming back and the end of our show. On bad news, I'm Bill Boner. And I took that name, Boner, from John Boehner because I think it's hilarious. It looks like it's spelled Boner.
Oh, totally.
And he pronounces it Boehner. I spell Boner the same way, and I hope one day he sees that and is very upset by my use of his last name. Because I've always thought, that guy's a dick, and his name looks like it means dicks, and he says it in a way that only a dick would say dicks. So he has a book about the Republican Party because he's another one. He left and he's just like,
he's a defect.
He's like, I fucking made my money. I'm getting out.
Yeah, he's a defect at this point.
I'm done. Right. All this Trump shit he's making things harder for.
He's making it harder for people
Pyongyang. He's making it hard for people like me to keep fucking Americans under the table. He's doing it right on top, no sheets or nothing. Yeah. So he wrote a book trying to act like he's a halfway decent person now, and fuck him and fuck his book. But there is a quote that I heard from his book, and it's like in the middle of something else he's saying about something semi-related, and just mid-sentence, he just says, P.S. Ted Cruz, go fuck yourself.
I love that.
I love that too. And this has been the Light Roast. We're waving like they can see us. They can't.
That's true.
None of you can see us. None of this is getting recorded. I'm here. I'm in my shot. I think yours ended a long time ago.
Mine totally ran
long
out
time
of
ago.
juice.
So all right. Well,
recording fail.
I'm Damian Turner, and off cam is Jason Jones, and we're
Jason Jones. I'm a point, and you're not gonna see me.
And We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Let's hit that music.